So GGG gave us a teaser for the new upcoming 0.2.0 patch, which should be releasing around March 18th to the 24th. Now this update has a few confirmed things such as new uniques, new support gems, new ascendancies, in-game improvements, and more, but I want to break down some things that may have been missed in the new image, such as 2 new weapon types, new class skills, and give you my theory on what the new Mercenary ascendancy will be. So, the first teased new ascendancies for the Mercenary, and it says, countless wars have left you with skills somewhat resembling a decent officer, and it looks like he's commanding a knight/warrior and a ballista totem. Now, I've heard some theories that the Merc is actually the knight looking guy, but I don't think that's the case. The reason being is that this image here is a skill that is in the game files for a skill called Summon Companion. This skill looks like it would allow us to summon a companion to fight/protect us. It will use socketed Merc skills, so I think this ties it in a bit more to the Merc. I always found it weird that the Mercenary had minion skills along its main path, and I think this ascendancy is the reason why. He's very clearly commanding his companion and possibly the totem to target something, so with the nodes shown here in the skill tree for minion health, minion damage, ally attack damage, attack speed, and health regen, I think it's clear that we're going to have a minion to help us fight here. Now, the other big thing to note here is that the skill shown mentions that you can give equipment to the companion in the skills panel, and if this is true, I think that this pretty much confirms that swords may be coming this league, as you can clearly see that he's wielding a sword that he's been given. I know it may seem like a little bit of a reach, but as it stands, Warrior needs some help in endgame, and it's one of the least played classes along with his ascendancies besides maybe Acolyte of Cholula or Witch Hunter, and PoE 2 Ninja clearly shows us that not many people are playing this class, and this is across both standard and the solo self-found/hardcore leagues. Now, people were touching it because it's slow, it's clunky, you have to invest a lot, and the other classes are much easier just to build into without that big of an investment. So I think with an entire new set of skill gems for the warrior to use, along with the skills on the skill tree right there that's around them, it'll be nice to help them out, and also it can set them up for bringing the duelist into the game at some point. I don't think that'll be coming this patch or probably for a couple more patches, but you know, we could see that here soon eventually if they add swords now. Now, the other weapon type I mentioned in the beginning is a huge reach, but GGG may be cooking here, so I wanted to throw this idea out there. The Merc here looks to be holding the crossbow with one hand, and I thought about some of the nodes around the Merc part of the tree, and I do know that this part of the tree is probably going to be where the duelist will end up, so this entirely may be the reasoning why these nodes are here, but I did want to throw it out just in case. But there are a ton of nodes related to either dual wielding or one-handed melee weapons, and the other node is the one-handed weapon node right here. So you can see that we have dual wielding nodes right here, and we have melee stuff and one-handed/two-handed melee weapons. So could you imagine running around with 2 mini crossbows in your hands and you're just rapid firing these across? And I only mention this because these nodes right here specify one-handed melee weapons, and these nodes right here just specify one-handed weapons, implying that we're going to get more than just maybe melee weapons for one-handers. I do know that we're going to have daggers at some point. We know we're going to have swords and axes. So could you imagine running around with like a mini crossbow in one hand and a dagger, or a crossbow and a sword, or a crossbow and a hammer? Maybe you could do something with Blood of the Giants, Giant's Blood, and you could run around with a 2-handed mace in one hand and a mini crossbow in the other, mix matching skills and stuff like that. This is a bit of a power fantasy that I'm throwing out here, but the idea would be really cool, and just in case they decide to do something like that, you know, here's the idea for it. So to summarize, we're going to be getting a new league, new support gems, new ascendancies, additional Atlas passive tree nodes, new tower mechanics, general in-game improvements, and more, and we may be getting new class skills and a new weapon type. Now I'm going to go ahead and break down some of the tease uniques and give my thoughts on them. So the tease unique that I'm going to first talk about, and the one that I'm the most excited for, is the Deepest Tower helmet that was teased in GGG's newest post. It states that enemies in your presence count as being on low life, and this should be exceptional for the Witch Hunter, and here's why. So as we stated earlier, Witch Hunter is one of the least played ascendancies in the game, and I think we can make this much stronger due to this helmet's effect of making enemies in our presence be on low life. So Witch Hunter inherently has 2 nodes that give you 35% increased damage with hits against enemies that are on low life, so 70% with these 2 nodes. We have Culling Strike, which will kill enemies earlier depending on the type of enemy that they are. And we have Decimating Strike, which is always going to remove 5 to 35% of the target's HP on the initial hit. So what we can do is we can combine that boosted damage right there with some extra nodes such as right here, to where we're getting lucky hits against enemies that are on low life. And crossbows have a wide range of damage. You'll notice on the card that they have a very low damage and a typical very high damage. So making the damage lucky is going to increase the damage that we're doing overall. We also have tons of increased damage nodes here and also here. All these nodes combined, including the ascendancy, equals 490% increased damage against low life targets. We then increase our Culling Strike threshold using this notes here and get some extra damage against rare and unique enemies and attack damage against rare and unique enemies. So this overall combo together should make it very strong for the Witch Hunter as just a baseline. This isn't even building into it, picking other uniques and picking other skills. I just think the flat damage that we can get out of this, also combined with the Execute support gem, should give us a ton of extra damage to make this extra strong. The other tease unique is the Prism Guardian Sectarian Crest Shield, and it will give bonus spirit based on your max life. Now this does seem like a cool unique, but I don't see it outclassing a Trench Timbre or Trench Timber, whatever you want to call it, that gives you +3 level minion skills and 30 spirit with 2 Oscapa Soul Cores. Since level minion skills is so strong for a minion build, I think they'll need to make HP scaling a bit easier to make this item worth using, but it does seem like the in-game version of the Oaksworn Shield. I can see an Infernalist Witch or maybe an off-meta Titan Warrior making a cool build with this, but I guess we'll have to see. So yeah, that's what GGG has teased for us now, and I'm going to try to outline some of these teasers as they come out. I don't think I'm going to be putting out any more build videos until the new league comes out. There isn't really a need for me to put out any, considering that we should be getting some huge changes, and I don't want to waste my time making a build and just to call it dead a patch later. So we're going to just wait and see what they do. They're making some big changes to the Atlas tree, and they have mentioned some big changes to the end game. So I'm excited to see what they put out, and I'm really looking forward to playing in the new update in the new league. So yeah, I appreciate you guys coming by. If you made it this far, please feel free to leave a like. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and I will hopefully see you guys here in the next one. Y'all take care.